Hello and welcome to the back two with me, Kevin DeSantos.
Me, Reece Mitchell.
And let's get straight into it. It's a jam-packed podcast today. We'll start off with Manchester United and we'll go all the way back to the game against Brighton at Old Trafford where they came out as 1-0 victors. Quick touch on that game.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, it was only match of the day highlights.
Fuck, you know what were you doing instead?
Big session, Nottingham.
Fucking hell, Nottingham with the ledge.
But what I do know happened, Ashley Young doing what he does, stepping up and getting the goal. Well, actually no, it was an own goal from Duffy.
Yeah.
Some say Young, it was going on target.
I've got to
He
knock
got
that.
robbed by
I'm knocking that right on the head.
dubious goal panel. And then Lindelof's man of the match performance. First time he's put in a good performance.
He was colossal. All
colossal.
Season. I don't think we were great that game from what I remember going as far back as the weekend. Young got us out of trouble. We needed the 3 points. We got it. It wasn't our best performance. Or we did the job as most thought we would. Then Tuesday, Watford, Vicarage Road, a 4-2 win.
Lots of people predicting we'd draw. I was worried, but we needed the win.
Did you put him on your racker?
I did, and I backed United.
What a guy. What a geezer. Does 4-2 flatter us?
Slightly. We got the 3 goals in about 11 minutes spell. They dominated probably the first 15 minutes with their midfield of Decore and Cleverly being better than our midfield of Matic and Pogba. But sometimes you need moments of brilliance from your best players, and Ashley Young stepped up to get the first goal. I didn't even think it went in.
I didn't. I thought it decided nothing, and then I heard the commentator see Youngie running. I thought, oh, hey, go on, lads. They stepped up and took the free kick.
89 erupted.
House 89 did indeed erupt. It was scenes. Lionel Lingard, LL14, kick out your Messi Lingard.
Martial, you missed Martial's goal as well.
I was gonna do it separately. That's my boy. That's my boy Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
I might as well do it in order. Tony Martial tucks it away, passes it into the back of the net.
Yeah, I thought he shot too early, but went in.
Fantastic finisher.
Gomez looked a bit suspect in that game.
So 3-0 up, and then Watford come back into it.
Yeah, well, Rojo decides to. He gets beaten by Carrillo. He was solid all game as well. He headed it over the bar from a dangerous cross. Did nothing wrong, and then decided to. He got beaten and got angry and decided to wipe him out for no reason. Troy Deeney, I think, scored his last 5-6 penalties that I saw. So I never thought De Gea was going to save it. To be honest, and he went the wrong way, so that never helps.
Decore then makes it 3-2, and are you thinking, shit, United have gone and bottled it here?
I did. I thought we'd done a Liverpool, but
say it again.
Jesse picks it up and tries to run, just get it in their half of the pitch and run the clock down. He sees Rom, decides not to pass to him because he's seen how Rom's been performing and thinks he's not going to do anything. And decides to put it in the back of the net himself. He only scores good goals, doesn't he?
4-2, 3 points. And that put the pressure on our rivals and the league leaders, Manchester City, who got a 2-1 away win at Huddersfield on the weekend.
They went 1-0 down.
Yeah, they did. Was very happy with that.
And you're thinking, Huddersfield, come out in the second half, hold the lead for as long as you can. If you get to the 75th minute, we're hoping for a draw. They decide to concede a penalty in the 47th. And you're thinking, City are going to definitely win. But then they struggled to get the second. It wasn't till, I believe, De Bruyne put Jesus through. Keeper comes rushing out, good save, and hits Sterling's thigh and just goes in.
Falls to that man. That man, Raheem Sterling. And it wasn't the last time we were going to be kicked in the teeth by Raheem Sterling, because then in the week, Southampton at the Etihad, 1-0, 95th minute.
And he curls it into the top corner.
Absolutely fuming. Well, you can knock it. City win again. And what's that, 12 straight wins? Yeah, 12th they're on now in the Premier League. Their 8-point gap remains intact. But then we move on to Chelsea. Drew 1-1 against Liverpool on Saturday night. An interesting game. I thought it was an enjoyable one.
Salah scored on his return. I think I did predict that, but I said Chelsea would win
Yeah.
2-1. And Willian,
Did he mean it?
no. The technique that he used, it was a cross to the back post. Morata in the form, he might have missed it, to be honest. So
Yeah.
it's good. Lucky
Yeah.
it went over Mignolet went in. And obviously he did what all professional footballers do in press conferences and say they meant it and then
Straight
do a
went.
little laugh.
Can he knock it? And then we move on to their game against Swansea, where they only won 1-0. And what was...
You brought Morata into your fantasy team.
I don't know what that is, sir. I don't know what fantasy is, so we'll just move on from there. You see Ronaldo Sanchez's pass off the pitch?
Yeah, I suppose he passed to, I think it was a Carabao,
Yeah.
whatever their logo is, it's red.
Yeah. And
Paul Merson's been ripping into him, he doesn't like them. They're foreigners.
It doesn't like the foreigners at all.
Especially the Portuguese.
I don't know what it's got
Yeah.
against us, bro. It's
First Marco Silva and now Renato Sanchez, but
got subbed off at half time as well.
yeah. Not, well, he's gone from Bayern to Swansea. We were expecting madness, weren't we, really?
But he hasn't kicked off at all. So yeah, Chelsea with 4 points out of 6.
Conte got sent off as well.
Yeah, he did. But
I believe he wasn't happy. Chelsea had a couple of penalty claims,
shots, yeah.
but I'm not sure. Looking back at them, I don't think they were penalties, but got sent off.
That's the end of that. He'll get his
The
ban.
passionate lad from Italy.
You think Pep will get a ban for running onto the pitch? And is berating Redmond and all
Yeah,
that?
I'm not sure what that was about. That was a bit scary.
You
for
think
Redmond.
the FA will touch him?
Nah.
We then move on to Arsenal, who have been just ticking along since their Spurs win. They got a narrow 1-0 victory at Burnley on the weekend. Burnley are playing so well this season. What did you think of that game?
Yeah, I heard it was a poor first half. Burnley had a few chances, whereas Arsenal came into the second half. I mean, a 90th minute penalty is cruel to any team, but especially Burnley, considering their last 3 results against Arsenal, all 90th minute winners.
Especially last year's flipping Koscielny handball and all that nonsense. And then back at the Emirates, so they've been so strong this season, and they wiped out Huddersfield. A colossal 5-0 victory. Mesut Ozil
2 assists
took most of the plaudits. Yeah, 2 assists, man of the match performance again,
and a goal.
and the goal. And they sit back in 4th place, where they belong. Do you think? Do you think they'll finish in 4th?
I was going to say Spurs 4th, but the form they were in. But I can't see Spurs. I think it's just a little blip. I think when Arsenal get into the thick of it with the Europa League, where they can't just put out the B-Tech team. I mean, unless they're really doing strong in the Premier League, they're going to have to contest on 2 fronts because of the competition in the Prem for the top 4 spaces. I'm still going to say Spurs to finish 4th, and then City, United, and Chelsea above them.
Fair dues. Liverpool were next. Drew against Chelsea, as we said. We touched on that already. Then a 3-0 win at Stoke. Struggling Stoke. Salah comes on and gets 2 goals. He's looking a bit tasty.
Yeah, 12 goals now in the Premier League, 17 in all competitions. For someone who can't finish, he seems to be putting it in the back of the net a lot. Is he enough though to drag Liverpool to one of them top 4 spaces?
I think I said it last week. The defence is just not good enough. They'll get these wins at teams. They were struggling against these teams last season, teams lower in the table and whatnot. But their defence will come back to haunt them any time now. So they'll score, but they'll concede more, and in the end, I think that'll be their undoing. A team that's not doing well as of late, Spurs. A 1-1 draw at Wembley at home against West Brom, and then a 2-1 loss right here in Leicester at the King Power. What bloody hell's happened to them?
Well, they conceded early against West Brom. Rondon getting a goal in the 4th minute. West Brom are probably one of the worst teams to go 1-0 down to in the Premier League. They, especially when they're away from home, there's no pressure on them. They can just sit in front of their defence, or sit in front of the ball, and do nothing. And to be fair, they probably had the better of the chances. Rondon missed a late one.
Oh, dear.
Which probably could have won them the game.
Yeah.
And then 2-1 to Leicester. Vardy scoring a great goal.
Brilliant shot.
Mahrez, classic Mahrez cutting in on his left foot, curled it in. Kane responded with a good finish.
Yeah, but...
And then wild misses from Christian Eriksen and Llorente.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Are you putting down to bad luck?
No, I can't say it's bad luck. You can't. They're two terrible results, really.
And we'll touch on the rest of the results in the Premier League from the weekend and midweek. West Ham drawing 1-0 at Leicester. They thought that was a bit of a turnaround, maybe, but we'll see later on that wasn't the case. Palace beat Stoke 2-1. United beat Brighton 1-0. Newcastle losing at home to Watford by 3-0. Swansea and Bournemouth drawing 0-0. Spurs drawing with West Brom 1-1. Liverpool and Chelsea doing the same. Then on to Super Sunday, where Southampton beat Everton 4-1. Burnley losing to Arsenal 1-0 and Huddersfield losing to City 2-1. Then going to midweek, where Brighton and Crystal Palace drew 0-0. Leicester beating Spurs 2-1. Watford loses to United 4-2. West Brom and Newcastle drawing 2-2. And on to Wednesday, where Arsenal beat Huddersfield 5-0. Bournemouth lose to Burnley 2-1. Chelsea beating Swansea 1-0. And Everton smashing West Ham 4-0 with your boy Wazaroo getting a hat-trick.
So it's the best goal he's ever scored.
My word. Are you agreeing? Or are you going with the bicycle?
I'm going with the bicycle.
Yeah, it has to be.
City, we only won 2-1. This was just winning 4-0 anyway. It's nothing, is it, really? Or 3-0, sorry.
Yeah. City winning 2-1 against Southampton and Stoke losing to Liverpool by 3-0. So, the roundup's done. We now go to the table. City sitting on top with 40 points. 12 straight wins. They've scored 44, conceded 9. It's looking great for them up there.
Yeah, it's the joint best ever start. Don't know if it was greatest ever Premier League team, so...
Are they on course to being the greatest ever? If they win it in this fashion, going on the way they're going, will they be the best Premier League team ever?
I don't think, because you've got two United teams that have won it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You've got the Chelsea team that won it twice in a row.
Yeah.
I think for you to be considered the greatest Premier League team, you've got to win it more than once in a row. Once in a row. Your record can't be... Just because the record's good, you have to do it over a certain amount of seasons. We've seen no one's kept the title since United did it in 07, 08, 08, 09. That's that long ago. It's been a different Premier League winner ever since then. Yeah.
I think, speaking of United, 32 points, 3 straight wins. They've won 4 of the last 5 games, and we've got the best defence in the league. Going into the Arsenal game and the City game, do you think we'll keep that defensive record?
Yeah, Jose Mourinho based all his team on a strong defence. Man for man, maybe like individually, they're not the greatest defenders, except for probably Eric Bailly, but they just seem to work as a unit.
Yeah.
Really.
Chelsea sit on 3rd with 29 points, undefeated in the last 5. They've won 4 and drawn 1. They've got a nice little run of fixtures coming up as well. I think Chelsea are in with a shout of getting into this title race.
Well, we're out of it. We're 8 points off, so they're 11. It would depend. If we beat City, what's to say they're not back in it? But that's big ifs and buts, big calculations being done. I'm going to game week 27 to see who people are playing. It's all a bit mad.
As I said before, Arsenal in 4th. They've won 4 and lost 1 in their last 5 games. Liverpool sitting on 5th, they're undefeated in the last 5 games. They've won 4 and drawn 1. And big Salah, as you said, with 12 Premier League goals, running away with the Golden Boot at the moment. And Spurs, down in 7th, below 6th place Burnley, They've won 1 of the last 5 games, drawn 1, and lost 3. Only Arsenal have a worse away record in the top 7. Has Poch got a problem there at the moment?
I think he's got a problem after this season, keeping the players. If they don't finish in the top 4, they're going to have no desire to stay at the club with...
The top players, who do you mean? Who do you think will go?
If Real Madrid came in for Kane, could he say no to that? Dele Alli doesn't seem to have any loyalties to Spurs by the looks of it. Danny Rose would definitely be off. Even Eric Dyer was linked with a move to United.
Yeah.
And that's with them. Alderweireld's definitely leaving. He hasn't signed a new contract yet. It'll be difficult for Tottenham next season, but they know how to spend well. I say spend well. They've bought the likes of Sissoko for 30 million, but then they've also got steals like Dele Alli for 4 million. So it would just be, can Poch continue buying in players for low money and making them into great players?
So, we go on to this weekend now, finally. We've done our roundup, and the biggest game of the weekend, without a doubt, is Arsenal versus Manchester United. Saturday, 5:30 kickoff, where Arsenal will be without Lacazette. He's confirmed he's ruled out. He's the Premier League top goal scorer with 7 Premier League goals. I think next is Sanchez with 4. How do you see this one go?
They've got other options to play up front in the likes of... Welbeck's a bit similar. A bit similar, but he gets in behind with his pace. Whereas Giroud's a completely different option, isn't he? He's difficult to mark in the box. Gives them that long ball option if we do put a high pressure on them. But I doubt Mourinho will. Maybe for the first 10 minutes he'll try a high pressure Mourinho, but after that, I think he'll sit back a bit.
You're thinking a bus? A bus or just sitting back? Or is there a difference?
I think there's a difference between parking it and not trying to get forward at all.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely try to use the counter-attack with the pace we've got, especially if we do play in a 5-back with the transition, so easy, it allows Valencia and Young to get forward. We saw Pogba, how he can run from one half of the pitch to the other.
Yeah.
And go from defence to attack.
It's also got to be said, though, Arsenal this season, 7 games at home, 7 wins. United away from home, 3 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses.
Who have they had come to the Emirates? Is it just Spurs?
Yeah, just Spurs. They went to Stamford Bridge, they went to Anfield, and they went to City.
Yeah, and you look at, Spurs have been awful against the top 6 in away games under Poch. So you have to say, even though they have won all 7, they haven't really been challenged yet. So I think we've got a chance.
But Jose's away record against top 6 is dog. That's undeniable.
But then we need to win.
That's true. That is true. But will he go out there to win, though? Wenger's coming out and saying that we're going to go out there and attack.
I don't know if that's mind games from Arsene Wenger. My opinion is that Jose couldn't care what Wenger says about him. If he says, I think they'll attack, and Mourinho ends up parking the bus, he's not really going to care what opinion Wenger has on that.
We saw Matic hobble off against Watford. As of recording this, Jose hasn't done his presser. He waits until Friday.
No team news.
So no team news.
No exclusives.
So let's assume that Matic is out. Bailly as well out. Forget Bailly. Who comes in for Matic? Fellaini, Herrera, McTominay.
I think both. I think Fellaini and Herrera would have to come in to offer the defensive duties that Matic offers us. We're just about getting away with Matic and Pogba in a team together.
Yeah.
If you take away Matic's defensive qualities, you can't bring in Herrera to replace that. And Fellaini can't defend by himself, so I think you'd have to bring in the two But then you're saying, can they not win the midfield battle? Really, you'd think Herrera and Pogba should be able to win the midfield battle between Xhaka and Ramsey.
But they have been great, though, those two.
Recently, before they've been told to leave the club.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. Xhaka and Ramsey have been putting in some good shifts. Rambo seems to be getting assists for fun from that midfield. They've shown against Spurs that they can put in a disciplined performance, and I'll say it again against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They showed that they could put in a disciplined performance. We've already seen Decore and Cleverley over on our midfield too. Herrera that looks a shadow of his former self.
So would you go for all three?
I think you've got to go for all three.
Or would you play Pogba, Fellaini, and Lingard as an 8/10?
Nah. Because Fellaini, what's Fellaini going to do as a DM?
Give away a penalty.
There we go. He's going to do not some sort of nonsense like that. He'll probably want to go toe to toe with Xhaka and say, I've got bigger balls than you.
Yeah.
Give him an elbow off, then we're fucked. And the form that Arsenal are on, you'll probably get run over if we're playing them against 10 men. Alexis, Ozil.
Well, Ozil showed up in the last 2 games. Man of the match performance in both. Sanchez,
especially with the links that the press have been dishing out there with Ozil to United, do you think he's going to try put in a spectacular performance, try and get that big move up to Old Trafford?
well, I'm hoping it'll be similar to Sanchez against City, where he did show up. And then if Ozil's thinking about a move to United in possibly January, he doesn't want to hinder our title hope. So
True.
will he even play? Will he be... Wenger likes to say he's ill when he can't be asked to play.
So who do you think will start as the 3 then for Arsenal? If we're taking Ozil out and we're taking Lacquer out, Sanchez and...
Despite Giroud scored 1. Oh, he definitely scored. He definitely scored against Huddersfield.
Mm-hmm.
But Wenger has a soft spot for Danny.
He
So
does.
I think Danny will start.
Danny likes his goals against
And he
United
scores
as well.
against United. So I think he'll go first. Sanchez and Welbeck, and then Ozil. Welbeck and Sanchez alternating between each. Does the defensive duties, I think.
Rom the bomb.
Lacking confidence at the moment.
It does seem like it. Do you think it correlates with Ibra coming back? Or is that...
No, I don't think so. He was dog before Ibra came back.
So what do we do?
And I don't think it isn't really confidence, because he said he was faster than Rashford.
He did. He came out with big quotes.
He likes to tell lies.
He came out with big quotes.
He definitely believes in himself.
Do you see him scoring against Arsenal?
Well, everyone likes to talk about his record against the top 6.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
So this isn't what I want to hear. This isn't
You
what
would
I want to
hope.
hear.
I mean, Mustafi's been in great form, but
Since he's gotten back, yeah.
as Troy Deeney says, sometimes they lack cojones. And when you're 6'3" and as big as Lukaku, I'm hoping that he can.
But you've already seen
get
him
amongst
lose
it.
headers to a big Aspilicueta at Stamford Bridge. Let alone lads taller than him.
Maybe Ibra's back and he's telling him how to get physical with the defence.
That's a decent shout. We've got 12 goals on the road. Arsenal have only conceded 4 at home. All right, result. What are you going for? Big prediction.
I'm going to go for 2-1. We're going to go 2-0 up. And then they're going to score a goal late just to put a bit of pressure on us. But the defence will keep them out.
1-0.
1-0.
1-0. I think Mourinho's jizzing all over the pitch.
Yeah.
A dodgy Rom goal.
Or a deflection.
Oofed.
Big deflection.
Oofed.
The dubious goal panel's coming. That's all I want to hear.
Something dodge like that. Rom falls over and it rolls into the back of the net, and we get a clean sheet. Away at the Emirates. 3 points, I think. A good performance going into the crunch match against CSK in the week and the derby next weekend, and 3 points.
And an Arsenal fan TV meltdown.
I think we're due one. I think we're definitely due one. We'll go through the rest of the Premier League games then.
Quick prediction.
Chelsea, Newcastle.
Chelsea win.
Brighton, Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Everton, Huddersfield.
I'm going to go for Everton. Huddersfield have been terrible on the road.
Leicester, Burnley.
A draw. I'm going for a draw.
Draw. Stoke, Swansea.
I'm going to give it to Stoke. I've got Shaqiri and Choupo-Moting in my fantasy team, so fingers crossed.
Watford, Spurs.
Watford have been better away from home, and then but then Tottenham haven't been great away, and they've been in terrible form recently. Watford did look good in the second half against us. I think Tottenham are going to win.
I'm give it Watford 2-0. Richarlison and Decore with the Firmino assist in there. Yeah. A Firmino clean sheet. Let's get climbing up the FPL table. West Brom Palace.
What a dead game. Pardew's first game against Woy. He likes to start well, Alan Pardew, so I'm going to go for West Brom. Actually, no, forget that. I'm going for a draw.
A draw.
I think Zaha's got enough to keep him in the game.
Arsenal United, we've done. Super Sunday, oof. Bournemouth Southampton.
I'm going to go for a draw in that one. Southampton look defensively strong, apart from obviously conceding the 95th minute winner. And Bournemouth just don't score that many goals, apart from when Callum Wilson scored the hat-trick. Apart from that, though, nothing, no goals really for them.
And then, what could be an absolute massacre, or a David Moyes masterclass. Manchester City, West Ham. 5-0 City.
5-0 City.
I think West Ham have got no chance.
They lost 4-0 to Everton. They allowed Rooney to score a hat-trick. He hasn't scored one since 2011.
But Moyes...
It's over for him. He aspires to be like this club.
Exactly.
And he's going to bottle it. So, 5-0.
I think we could be in for a surprise. I think it's written. Last game of the game week, the City West Ham. We'll have beaten Arsenal, and I think Moyes is going to do us a favour.
Right, we'll see what happens. It's a win-win situation, isn't it? The Aka comes through, or we're closer.
Kick it out, lads. And now we do, games to look out for in Europe this week. Napoli against Juventus on Friday, first versus third, and Porto versus Benfica, which is also first versus third. In the last 6 games between Porto and Benfica, Porto have won 2, drawn 3, and lost 1. The last 2 games are both draws, but Benfica haven't been great this year, so I'm leaning towards a Porto victory. But we'll see. Napoli against Juventus. Juventus haven't looked like themselves. They've been carrying a few injuries. I know Higuain was out. I think it's something to his hand. But Napoli's record against Juventus isn't great. I think they've lost to Juventus the most, or something silly like that. Where do you think Napoli and Juventus is going?
Yeah, Napoli, great form. Unbeaten in the league, right?
Yeah.
I think, Juventus have been dodgy there. The third, maybe the monopoly's over, and they're going to extend it. I think that 2-1 win, Napoli. Dries Mertens.
Your boy Mertens, that's you want him at United, don't you?
No, he's just got a very low release clause, 28 million. It's a good buy, isn't it?
Would you have him?
No, got Rom long term.
Rom long term. What if Rom doesn't score against Arsenal, doesn't score against City?
Then he's dead to me.
Do we drop him? Do we drop him for Ibra?
I think you have to. It's not like Ibra's a good striker. He might be 36 years old, but he's still got the ability. We can't let Rom just think it's alright to not score in 1 in 12 games.
Wait, Jose was talking though.
Yeah, because his link-up play was alright, and sometimes he tries really hard to get corners. It's a joke, to be honest.
Well, excellent stuff. So, that's the end of that. A jam-packed Back 2 podcast, and we'll be back next week.